Yes, we are back. What is happening, Pod Gang? My name is Emil Walker, and you are listening to Inside the Ride, a podcast that dives deep into conversations with fascinating people about the highs and lows of their journey towards purpose. Today, we're lucky enough to have not one, but two guests on the podcast who go by the names of Ross and Leon, aka Too Many T's. They're a hip-hop duo from the far northern parts of England, but now reside in London. I spent a summer touring with them in 2015, hitting about 15 festivals across the UK, which was absolute carnage. There's some pretty funny videos from the tour online, so I'll link those in the description if you want to check them out. They had literally just come back from a 3-month tour around Australia and Asia, so I was excited to hear about that. From slightly smashing up a rental van to being scammed by a so-called ear cleaning doctor, I wasn't all that surprised to hear about a small portion of the fun and chaos that was had. We covered a lot of different stuff in the podcast: music promotion, the power of influencers, Spotify, and also a kind of commune building project that Ross has been working on in Portugal. They're kind of working on a retreat type thing, which they've almost had to build from scratch as the buildings needed a lot of work. But yeah, we discuss all the kind of challenges that have come along with that. They are absolute jokers, and I don't think I've laughed this much during a podcast yet. Also worth mentioning, I somehow got nicknamed Camel during my time working with them, so when they refer to a camel, they do actually mean me. Unfortunately though, that name never really cottoned on, but I'm sure I can live with that. Anyway, let's hear it for Too Many T's. We're live. Are you going to do the jingle?
Oh yeah.
You got to hold it at the bottom.
It's Camel's podcast with too many T's.
It's the best podcast that you've ever seen
And heard.
Mainly heard.
Well, I've got a new theme tune now.
Yeah,
I can stick it in every one.
you can tell. You're with some proper musicians, professional musicians now.
You really set the tone.
It is the only instruments we've got though, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
How's things? You're back in the UK after a big tour. Tell me about the tour.
Well, you can see all you need to. We've come back as musicians.
These are the gifts from Gaia that we got.
You got a bargain on that.
Yeah, this was 200 rupees. This
£2 for a drum.
£2.10 if you do the current exchange rate. That's pretty good for a drum. I don't know how to play it yet.
You don't need a DJ anymore. You've got a drum.
Yeah.
The next album. So we've started writing the second album since we got this.
A couple of tracks away from completing it.
So the tour's been a success.
Yeah, total success. We got this now. Yeah.
So
We're back. Got a tan.
Yeah, you look pretty. I don't know if you spoke to each other and maybe wore white t-shirts as a bit of a plan to make yourselves look a bit more brown. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been wearing white t-shirts since I got back. Yeah.
I feel like a black t-shirt makes you look more brown for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, try it out.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
He's camel blind. Colour blind. Really?
Yeah.
Black t-shirt.
Do you not think so?
I've got a black t-shirt in my bag. I could swap halfway through and then people could vote.
Let's do that.
We'll do it. Where did you go then? You started in Australia.
Yeah.
I saw a video of you crashing a rental van into the top of a car park.
Yeah. That was the first ever vlog. So that was in. So we went to Australia first, and then Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and India, and we were in Australia for a month. And that was in Brisbane, wasn't it?
Brisbane, yeah.
And we got this it was called Lucky Rentals as well. Lucky Rentals, and
unlucky them.
This sick van, they've got a double bed in the back that we cozied up in, and then a little kitchen in the boot. which is really cool. Cooking meals at the back of that. Yeah, and we got into this car park, and we got in and we were like, fuck, what is it, like 1.9 meters or whatever it was, and we were like, is that gonna fit? And then you got out of the car, and I was driving, you were like, mate, it's just gonna fit. This is sick. It's like an inch. And I was
we
like,
were careful.
Whoa.
We were careful. We didn't
went.
just go
So we went in
gung-ho.
there. Went in there. There wasn't a parking space in the whole car park. So we were like, for fuck's sake. So we went.
So it was fine going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was an inch, yeah. And then on the way back out, it said 1.9 meters. And I was like, just gonna sail under this. And then went up and just went. And we were like, what the
Yeah, because I watched the video and I was like, there's no way they're going to get it out of the car park. And you were like,
Yeah.
you drove even faster, hoping you'd make it smaller.
Accidentally, I was like, Ross, whatever you do, don't go forward. And he tried to reverse, but the bit between it actually getting in gear and it going backwards, it just rolled forwards.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it was kind of almost through, and Leo went, all right, you're all right now. And then just went. Like, it was so painful. Oh, God.
Did you have to pay for it when you took it back?
No, well, this is the thing. We were like, well, it's on the roof and it's quite high. Like, unless they've got ladders and they check the roof, like, I think we'll be all right. And Leon was like, we could take a shit on the top and no one will know. It's completely true. Like, so yeah, no one realised. And we also like smashed there was like, there's like wind defenders over the front windows. That you
Wind
get.
defenders.
So you can like wind your window down a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Still get
I
air,
think that's
yeah.
what they're for. Yeah, is that what it's for? So
Well, I
it's like,
presume so.
doesn't blow. all
Because they
in
only
the
have them in
That's
car.
for
hot
dogs.
countries, don't they?
I think it's for dogs.
Yeah, they do it.
I think it's like visors, so when dogs put their heads out, they don't get fully blasted.
Little dogs.
Yeah.
That's-
Rats.
I know you're joking, but it probably works a bit
Yeah.
for a dog. Yeah, and we brought one of them. Well, Leon did. He jumped in the car. I was driving.
Oh, yeah, I
and
saw
then he
that
just
as
ran
well.
and jumped in. Yeah,
Kicked it.
yeah. So we super
Yeah.
glued that back on, and then we just left the roof. And then when we got there, we just talked at them as much as we can while they were doing the thing, and it was like all jerky and stuff. And then
Distraction
it just,
tactic.
Yeah, distracted him, and then he was like, "Right, yeah, it's all good." And we were like, "Fucking get in."
See ya. And we had to wait. We couldn't put that episode up until we'd taken the van back.
Oh, that
Just
would have
in
been
case.
amazing if they'd seen
I know.
it, waiting for it to come
Yeah.
back in.
That was the start. That was the start of the delay for the videos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then as the tour went on, we were trying to do one a week, and then it was like one a week, and then one. I think that was like 10 days later. Then it was like 2 weeks after, and then it was like 3 weeks, and then it just got to the point where it was like, well, on our Instagram stories we're in Thailand, but we're still putting out middle of Australia vlogs. Like we got people texting us like, where are you?
Yeah. How are you doing
We
this?
fucked it up big time. So yeah, we needed a camel.
It's hard staying on top of stuff when you're away, isn't it?
Mm.
It's so difficult. Yeah.
It takes so long, mate. We'd be driving for like 5 hours. We'd just be editing, and you'd not see anything where you're going. Then you'd get to somewhere, then you'd spend all night editing, and then you'd not seen where you were, and you get to a point where you're just like, why are we doing this and not seeing that? This can just wait.
But yeah,
We're here now. Let's go and explore and experience a bit.
that's it. We were sort of doing everything as well. So we were doing the gigs, but then like tour managing and being like the booking agent and the travel agent
Yeah,
and
travel agent.
and like the runner, and then the like videographers and editors,
Kitman.
drivers, DJ. You know what I mean? We literally did like
Yeah.
everything. So I think that was that. Yeah, from the whole experience, the one thing that I wish we'd taken is someone to do the filming and editing.
You need like a tour manager that can just do everything that's not
Yeah,
rapping.
driver. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
DJ,
yeah.
driver,
yeah.
booking agent.
We should have took Sam. We should teach him how to edit and then
We
take
should have
Sam.
took Sam. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like a wicked tour. When I was watching the videos, I was pretty jealous. But then
Yeah.
you don't show all of those bits where you're actually doing the work and not
yeah,
having all
yeah,
of the fun.
yeah. That's the thing in it about social media in general. It's like, look at this. It's great. Look how good this
everything's
is.
great.
God,
Look at this big smile on my
that's
face.
amazing. God, Leon and Ross are just happy constantly. Like, that's what someone said to it. Like,
I actually think that sometimes.
yeah. God.
These
yeah.
Northerners always got a smile on their face.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was like some of it was long. Yeah, like
Yeah.
some of it was just like a mission, and you're just like, oh god, I wish we were just staying in one place so I could just sort my
I still felt
life
so
out and my head
ungrateful.
out just for a day.
Those moments when you were like, not when you were, when we were, one was just sort of like, oh god, then we've got to get that ferry, then we've got to get
Yeah.
that boat, and this taxi through this. Oh no, it's so long. And I was like, actually moaning, and you're just like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Look where you are and what
In
you're
February and everyone
and
else
where
is
you're
in
travelling.
London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To be
it's-
fair, it didn't last long. Yeah, any moaning. It was like,
it is easy though, isn't it, to like sort of forget and get used to where you are and
Yeah.
not appreciate it. So
But
it's nice to sort of.
it was amazing the level of stress just in general went down the whole trip. That was like, it was like just, you could like map it on a graph, couldn't you? It's like Australia's a bit like England, so it kind of felt like you were still at home, and it was a bit like sort of in that work mode, still like just
Yeah.
not do everything. And then as soon as
It was
got to,
most
like,
consistent gigs as well, wasn't it? So like, there's
Yeah.
lots of stuff to do
Yeah.
every few days.
and we
It was-
drove the whole way down from like Brisbane to Melbourne as well, in the van. But as soon as we got to Thailand, everything just seems to go like, and then there's just not like many rules about, and like, you know, that's what Asia's so good for. No one gives a fuck about anything, and then you're like, oh right, yeah, I can get into this, and then you know, and then people are just chilling more.
Yeah.
And you just meet people, and like, yeah, and I just sort of felt just gradually like, and by the time like towards the end, like in Vietnam and India, we were like chilling, and just
yeah.
not like waking up like, what have we got to do? What's like on the list today? It was like
It was a
oh,
proper switch when it's Thailand.
yeah,
I was telling this story yesterday. We'd just come from Rainbow Serpent Festival in Australia, and that was like after a mad week, and then we sort of had a big party, and then like I had to leave the festival at like 7 a.m. in the morning. Then we were catching a flight from Australia to Thailand, but then the flight was delayed like 20 hours.
Oh
or
yeah, I
something.
saw that.
Yeah.
Oh
We were
my
just like,
god.
oh, just so knackered, and just like, and just then we got to Thailand after all this like madness, and we got picked up by this lovely guy Yanis, and he took us to this resort, and it was just like paradise, just like these lovely plants and trees and a pool, and we just had this big room, and we'd just gone from
air
like
conditioning, like,
madness to just
serenity.
yeah.
There's literally like this festival Jai Tep in Thailand. It's like 30 minutes outside Chiang Mai, and like in the countryside. And there's just this resort next to it that they rent out for all the artists. So like all the artists are just in this like paradise resort that's 2 minutes walk to the festival.
Right.
So it's like the best festival accommodation
ever, yeah.
Wow.
of all time. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like creating that environment around you to feel less stressed and inspired or whatever is so important. I can't quite put my finger on, like, whenever I go away to like Asia or somewhere, I come back and I'm like, oh, I feel amazing, I feel cleansed, and I'm like, I just need to keep this going. And then it, like, literally the next day after I wake up, I'm like, stress.
yeah.
And I don't understand why. Like, I have like a to-do list on my laptop, and I pretty much, it's the first thing I look at every day, and I'm like, oh, it's just this like knot of anxiety.
Yeah.
But when I'm away, I'm like, oh, just leave me alone.
Yeah,
The
it
computer,
don't
just
matter.
go away.
It
Yeah.
don't matter.
But and just like admin, personal admin, like just like I've talked to the bank 3 times since I've been back, and I didn't the whole
Yeah.
time we were away, and like
yeah.
just like weird things, just like just there. I've got like a fine on my car that like it's not even. It's like I've got a permit, but they've given me a fine. So I had to like email.
Tell us
them and
another
ring
riveting story.
yeah, no, but this is the point. This is the exact point. There's all this boring, like long, like
Yeah.
slightly stressful stuff.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you're in England or
Got to top up my
London,
Oyster card later.
that you've just got that you've just got to do constantly, and then somehow when you're away, you just forget about everything, and you know
Yeah.
no one can get in touch with you. You've not got any like responsibilities, like for
Or
people
you've
don't
got-
care if you forget
all
their
you've got to do
birthday and
is remember
stuff. You
to
know what I
eat.
mean? Like
You just got to remember to eat and go to the toilet.
yeah, and
wash.
talk and then you just talk to some people, and then probably have some beers.
And I feel like you've almost got to remember to talk to people when you're back here, because you're just like swamped by all the admin and all the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I've spent way more time on my own since I've been back. Actually, like
yeah.
I've definitely come back with a bit of an intention to sort of make it important to not do anything, or like to give yourself time
Slow
to
down.
hang out with people and go and do things like this. But you know, go and hang out with some friends, as opposed to just, because there's so much work, we could just never stop.
yeah,
You could just do it forever.
100%.
So you just have to
Yeah.
go, or no, that time I'm not going to, and block it out and make it as important as your deadline or whatever. definitely been a nice sort of like switch.
You've got a deadline to relax, Leon.
yeah. I can only relax for these 3 hours.
Chill out. It says in your diary.
yeah.
That's what it feels like.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Chill out.
yeah.
So did you go? Was it like a conscious decision to go away to get a break from England for the winter, or was it because you're trying to push your music out there?
It was.
Or a bit of both.
Bit of both, yeah.
We did it last year. We had January off. I went to South America and you went Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
that
that was the
sort of
holiday,
like
yeah.
Sowed the seeds of like, oh, nothing's up. We didn't miss anything in January.
Yeah.
Maybe we could extend this. Maybe we could actually do some gigs with it. And then just reached out, and I think Adam got us a couple of big gigs. And then the next minute
In Australia,
the next minute we'd just put a Facebook post out to friends. And the next minute we'd had like hundreds of people just saying, oh, speak to this person, speak to that person. Yeah, I know someone in this country, this country,
there was
this
hundreds
country.
of comments. It was mental.
Yeah.
Like people like who might be able to get us gigs in Asia or just anywhere in Asia or Australia, New Zealand.
And is that kind of how they all came about? Because I guess you don't have
A lot of them.
a booking
A lot of it,
agent
yeah.
for that part of the world.
Yeah, and there was a booking agent that was supposed to book us the tour, and like he seemed pretty confident, and that's what happened, wasn't it? So he was
Yeah.
trying to get his gigs, and
Yeah.
then he said he couldn't do it
TJ.
anymore, like really quite late in the day, like in October or something.
Yeah, he
And
had
we
some
were- and
family
we were-
issues, I think.
And we were like, oh man, we were sort of like had it planned now that we were going to take at least January and February out and just do this tour. And then that's when we did the shout out, and then we were like, oh wait a minute, this could be epic. And then probably talked to about 100
Yeah.
people each. And by the end of that, like we got like about 18 gigs or something in the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I mean, the
Yeah.
conversation was sort of like all the way down the line. No, can't help you. Just like over, like we
Yeah.
spent months just like speaking to people,
And then we were like,
making
and
these
then we were like,
connections.
actually, we can make this into, because it was like, now we've got this sort of bones of this tour. What else can we do? Look, us just give ourselves some more jobs. It's like we
How
could
can we make this
We could
more?
film it. We could film it, yeah. Because we come up with this idea that instead of a gap year, so we never did a gap year, either of us, when we were younger. We were like, we can call it rap year.
Such a good name.
Which is like,
It was the back-to-back rapping backpacking rap tour, aka
rap
year.
year. Yeah.
That's quite a big name to put on the flyer.
yeah. We should have put it like in really long, just above the rap year, in really long, small writing, aka rap year, so you can better see it next time.
Next time, yeah.
Yeah. So we were like, yeah, look, we can film it all, and then like sort of film all the travels in between, and then we've got all this like constant content coming out, and then next year we can take some more famous rappers with us that were kind of completely out their comfort zone, that probably wouldn't normally leave London or America or wherever, and come and travel with us, and hit up the labels and try and get some like proper funding for it. That was like our big plan. So like it turned from like just going away for a bit into this like
Doing a few gigs
legacy
and a
plan
bit of
that we can
travelling.
like make
Bit
into
of
like
strategy behind it.
yeah. But then what we did find is that without a videographer, it was difficult to get what you wanted, I think. And
Yeah, well, it was too much. I think like us as too many T's bouncing around doing stuff with someone filming, like you capture lots of nonsense,
he
But
knows better than anyone.
And, yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
you know better than anyone. But as we were going around, I was filming a lot, so we'd be going to somewhere and like, oh, this is happening, and I'd stop, and I'd start filming, so you kind of the dynamic changed a little bit as we were traveling,
Yeah.
which sort of got a little bit.
And when
It just became a role that you just had to like fulfill. So you weren't always just playing the role of too many T's. So there was times when it was a bit frustrating, I think.
Yeah, I think if you're filming something, just filming, you can become a bit anonymous.
Yeah,
just
fly on the
there.
wall.
Yeah, fly on the
Yeah.
wall type thing. Whereas like,
Which is what we
If you
wanted
st-
to.
if
I
you
was trying
if
to
you
do a
stood
fly on
there-
the wall of myself.
if you stood
Just
there,
like, which is so bizarre.
You need like a backpack with like a big hole coming out of it. Just stick the camera on.
but this was it. Like we were trying to do those like,
Bird's eye Leon.
Oh my God.
we were trying to do those like candid shots where you get some like natural reaction from people just holding a GoPro and just chatting at them,
catching
hoping that they're gonna like say something ridiculous. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like,
Or the best, we were leaving places, and I'd like go to where we're all going to say goodbye and set the camera up.
yeah,
And then leave,
and then we'd all cuddle and say goodbye.
And then Ross would be like,
I was like, you're genius. You're a genius about that. And there was one time someone went, are you filming all this? When we were saying bye, and it like made it super awkward.
I just never want to forget you.
Yeah, I think
amazing.
you did really well at covering up it not being weird.
So you must have like a pretty big network if you reached out to 100 people each. Is that kind of all come from music and gigging around here?
Yeah, it was mainly people that we didn't know, to be honest. It was like
friends of friends.
It was friends of friends. Yeah, I mean, like we've done it a few times, sort of when we've needed something shouted out on Facebook, and like it's just such an incredible network because someone always knows someone that's the exact right person that you need. So if you've got enough people that are like, and I think people are as well, like you kind of wider circle of friends are like, oh, I can sort that person out with that. If I ever see someone and I think of someone, I'm straight away like, this go. Everyone loves introducing people to people. You know what I mean?
People want to help, don't they?
Yeah, because then they can take credit for it later.
Yeah, that little ego trip.
Yeah. Especially if you're going somewhere. Does anyone know anywhere in this place? Oh yeah, I'm exotic.
Someone asked me yesterday, like, do you know any spoken word artists? Someone's dropped out this thing, and I was like, I do. I know the best one. I'll message him now. Yeah. And it was like,
it didn't come through.
No, it was. What's your number? I think I got your wrong number. Shit. Sorry, mate.
But yeah, the community is like super important, and like Ross was saying, I think it's probably like a good thing for anyone in the sort of in a creative industry that it's hot. You need lots of people helping to put it all together, and you can just put a shout out, and generally people will offer their help.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are afraid to ask for help or something, but it's something that we've really utilised and like for this tour, for our music videos, like
as long as you don't take the piss, I guess, you know what I mean, and rinse people sort of every now and then, just like, can we get some help?
Yeah, as long as they want to help, don't pin them down.
Yeah, give me your contact.
But you get those people, don't you, just like all the time, just like doing these big group messages or whatever. It's like, look at my thing, come to my thing, and it's a bit intense. Like, it's a bit.
There's a way to promote yourself, isn't there? I did a podcast with a guy yesterday, and he was saying exactly that, because everyone essentially is a brand now. If you create a social media account, then you become a brand, and it's like how you can promote yourself in an authentic way that has like a marketing agenda behind it.
Yeah, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, loads of people say to us like, oh, you guys are so good at social media and like, you know, doing this. And it's like, no, we're really crap actually. Like we're quite good at making content, like at making wicked projects, like one-off things that are interesting. But then the actual marketing plan around it,
there isn't a plan,
or any consistency to anything, it just doesn't exist, and like
which apparently is key.
Yeah. So like, you know, like from, I don't know, like if we'd have played the game better, we should probably have more people following.
We've got a big set of keys, haven't we?
Yeah,
we've not found that key yet.
Yeah,
we're still trying the lock.
Yeah, we're still trying all the different keys. Yeah,
but you're pretty good. Like when I've seen you playing shows before, like you spend a lot of time meeting fans and seeing people after the show, and I feel like that's like the best way to promote yourselves, isn't it? Actually, like just first-hand
engaging with people.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Like with it's quite engaging what we do, even though there isn't much of a plan to it. So we just about get away with it. But yeah, after gigs, that's how we met you, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
After
the Ugly Duckling gig.
Yeah.
You gave me a sticker. I felt so special until I was like, oh, I'm not the only one that got a sticker.
Oh, God. Have you still got the sticker?
Regretted it ever since.
Burnt it.
Yeah.
It probably ruined your clothes because like you leave it on for too long, it won't come off.
You were mentioning earlier that you had to pay someone to like clean your ear out, and he was a fraudster.
Yeah, it's a thing. So I was in Goa. I was walking onto the beach, and then it was about 10 meters away from me. I should have flagged at the start, and he was like, "Hey, something in your," like from 10 meters away. He told me that he'd seen something in my ear. I was like, "Oh,
good eyes."
I was like, "What?" And he came over and he was like, "Let me clean your ears." I was like, "Oh, great. I've been on tour for like 3.5 months, I could probably do with a bit of an ear cleaning.
This is what went through your head.
This is what went through my head. Yeah, this is what went through my head. And there's like,
and it's nice, isn't it? Like you think of the cotton bud, you think, oh, it's nice.
Yeah, this is
a nice thing.
This
Feels
is
nice.
lovely. I've not cleaned my ears for a long time. I need this. This is perfect. And he comes over because everyone does this, and it's like super endearing.
Yeah, they shake their heads from side to side. It's really weird because I found that like asking people if I can take a photo of them, and they're like,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yes or no.
Are you saying yeah or no?
Yes, no, maybe.
It's so good.
Everything in between. So like, anyway, he goes, can you? And then he gets this like sort of like little knife, and he's like scrapes a mirror, and he pulls out this like all this wax. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of wax. And he does it again, and he's like, wow. And then he goes, I'll get the balls of stuff in your ear. I was like, I didn't quite understand. He gets out this little leaflet, and he shows the canal in your ear, and you have these little like blockages where you get these like balls of dirt that build up, and it's like bad for your ear, and they can go in and damage your eardrum. This is what he's telling me. Do you want me to
Whereas
get them
like
out?
a guy you meet on the street in India is not going to go and damage your eardrum, is he?
No, with his tweezers, and he's
But
like,
At this point, you were buzzing about getting all this stuff cleaned out.
at this point, I was like, this is
God.
great. He was like, do you want me to do it? I was like, yeah, all right. And then he's going in, he's like scraping around in my ear, and then he pulls it out, and he goes, 500 rupees. I was like, what? No, mate, no. And he pulls out this little thing, and it's a tiny little ball bearing size like bit of dirt, and he crushes it on my hand, and it's all this dirt, these like balls of dirt that he's pulling out my ear. I'm like, what? He's like, you've got more in there. It's very dangerous. Do you want to get? I was like, well, get them out then. Like, and then he starts putting these little like beads out and pressing on my hand. It's like soil and like sand, tiny thing. I'm like, what? And then he pulls out. He's pulling one out, and there's like the place where we were staying in Goa. Like there was these 4 girls staying there, and these 4 girls walked by me on the beach at one point. I was like, oh hi, and at that point he pulled out this like dirty ball and like squashed it on his hand, and it just happened to be so all of them could see, and then they were, I saw their face were like, oh, like this. But I was like, oh no, this is the most embarrassing thing ever. Then by this time he's pulled about 7 of these balls out of my ear, and he's like, oh, that's 3,500 rupees or something, which is like what, 35 quid. I'm like, no, mate, I didn't ask for this. I thought you were just doing it actually.
Karma
After
yoga.
you said 500 for one, I said no, and you just carried on. I thought it was, I thought maybe we were getting on a little bit. We'd both been saying hello very nicely. So in the end, I was like he was getting quite angry. So in the end, I gave him like 1,000 rupees or something, and then walked off. I enjoyed his company, and I thought he'd clean my ears out, and I was like, fine. Then I went back and I looked online. I was like, ear cleaning Goa, and it's just like a scam. It's just a complete.
So they put the thing in your ear.
Yeah, so they must have these little. Have a look online.
And just like,
have a
it's
look
like a
on
little magic
YouTube.
trick.
It's like it's a proper scam. So I got done.
Fair play to whoever came
Yeah.
up with that.
Yeah.
yeah, what a crazy thing! Like, what a mental thing to do.
But then I was explaining this to the 4 girls later. I was like, yeah, and then it's all a scam. But the whole time I just felt like I was making the scam up, but just to prove to them that it wasn't the dirt on my ears. So it kind of bit me. Yeah,
You could have got 5 drums for that.
I know.
Yeah, I was in Paris a couple of years ago, and this woman who was just wearing like a matching Adidas tracksuit and like some teeth missing walked up to me and said she was collecting money for the blind, and gave me like this sheet, and it just had like, it was just like a scrumpled up sheet, and you just sign your name and then give her 20 euros. And I was like, are you mad?
Wow.
She wasn't even French. I don't know where she was from.
Whoa.
Like Eastern Europe or something. I was like, come on, if you're gonna try and be getting money off people, you got to try a bit harder than this.
That's amazing. One sheet as well.
Yeah. And then it had
No
like, and
clipboard.
it had a few names written, like 3 names, all written in the same handwriting. Like, same signature, just like.
But just imagine if she got a clipboard and a high vis, it'd probably work.
A hard hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
fake lanyard.
Yeah, just stand on a building site and then just ask for some money.
That's what
We did it like as promotions for one of our.
we did it. We scammed loads of money out of people.
No, we did scam people, but like for a promotion for one of the tracks off our album, Neighbours, we went round to like loads of people in the local area, pretending to be from a radio station, interviewing these people and get their reactions on this latest song from Too Many Teas. We just made this lanyard up and like got some glasses and went around pretending
Put
to
a
be.
suit jacket and like we got like an old box of tea, this square box that we kind of put stickers all on and then put the microphone through it, so it had one of those box things on it. And people were like, oh my god, so everyone's there with the camera. I'm like, we're from Backyard.
Oh yeah, Back Capital FM.
Backyard Capital FM. And,
We're here just getting reactions from the local people about the latest song from Too Many Teas. Can we play it to you? No,
but everyone
we'll
believed
play
us.
it to you now.
But like the lanyard and like the box thing on the mic, it just tricks people, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks
In the same way, This guy, did the guy look like an air cleaner that on the beach?
He had all the hallmarks of an air cleaner. Yeah, he had like the tweezers and the
stethoscope,
and the tissue. Yeah, like this sweaty forehead.
Did anyone get like weirded out by you just knocking on their door and playing a tune to them? I feel like if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
We got a
There was
couple
a
of
few.
slam doors. Yeah.
There was one we went to, and then like, I think some guy was just in there, and he was like renovating the house. He was like a builder, and we were banging on the door, and then eventually this guy came to the door. And he opened. And we were like, "Hello, we're from back." No.
No, fuck off.
Oh god, it was so good.
Oh, the hostility of London. So you could probably do that in India, and people would invite you in and cook you dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know the new song?
Maybe.
Yeah. What does that mean?
We're gonna play it anyway.
That's quite a good way to promote your music, isn't it? Something a bit different.
Yeah, we tried a couple work for the album.
Buckingham Palace.
The Buckingham Palace thing. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, like just like annoying people basically. So
that's a great way to get people to buy your music.
With your own
isn't it?
music, yeah. Yeah, but fuck, man, yeah, it's a lot of effort. You know what I mean? This is it. It's like I think if we had a better marketing plan, these things would be better, or we wouldn't have to do these completely mental things to promote our tunes.
I don't know.
It works.
Thinking outside of the box a little
Yeah.
bit. I think. Oh, what's that film? Supermensch, which I think you guys even told me to watch.
Right, yeah.
That guy Shep Gordon, and he like got someone in a van with like Alice Cooper's billboard to like break down in Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah.
And then the guy got arrested, but they still just paid him.
So whatever you do, don't move the van.
Copy Endeavour, runway inside.
You got any other promotional tactics that you use?
Oh mate, yeah, we do some creative email campaigns.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We created one last year around a pigeon, called Pecco. That it was like our favourite pigeon, and he'd flown away. He'd escaped, and we were trying to get him back. And the only way to get him back is if you play this song, because it's his favourite song, and it happens to be our new song. So if everybody could play this song,
we're like send in your videos. Send in your videos of you playing 60s Ford out the window, and if you see Pecco, he'll probably fly towards it. And we did
everybody help us rescue
this whole
Pecco.
email, and we sent the email to 5,000 email addresses or something that we had, and we went in, and then we realised we had this promo photo from one of our shoots with a pigeon, so we put that up. And we were like, this is Pecco, and I think we got about 4 or 5, but it was all worth it. It didn't really work the whole campaign.
You still got to try these things, haven't you?
It connected with enough people to make it funny,
we got a few. Yeah, we got the best one was these young American kids that follow us. Well, I think they're about 16, 17 or something like that. And there's just them walking around the park with a speaker just going, Pecco, come on, kid. Come on, man. Are you here, Pecco? Pecco! Pecco! And that was just a running theme, whenever we talk to them on social media, it's like, have you seen Pecco? Oh, not yet. We're still looking.
Where did that name come from?
I don't know. We're researching sort of the famous drug lords, trying to find someone with a bit of a cool name, and there was someone Peck or someone Pecco, a Colombian drug lord, somewhere. That's where
Pecco the pigeon.
Pecco the pigeon.
I saw you say that new Patterns track That video is mental.
Yeah, the CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like you stepped the videos up massively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that
with the
was
whole
crazy,
album,
wasn't it?
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time and effort and resources on
Is that
videos.
is that what the people or what the internet needs these days? Is highly produced music videos?
I think people expect it, don't, like, or
not even.
people don't even see it as like a big thing in now.
Yeah.
It's like some of people go, "Oh, what? They didn't do a video." I think
it just needs to be like a good idea or really well shot. Because it doesn't need to be like a super
not high
polished,
quality,
high quality thing. Sometimes if it's like really lo-fi, but it's all like
Really
in
well
keeping,
edited.
in keeping, and it's kind of like works, then it's just as powerful. But we were just using our like sort of like resources around us, and we asked for CGI, and it turned out one of our mates, Triff, did CGI already, and we didn't realize. And
it makes games for PlayStation, like high level stuff.
Yeah,
He's
so
a
he was
bad
like,
man.
he was just up for it, and we like met him, had a couple of drinks. He was like, I can do this, I reckon. And we were like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I can do this. And then, he got,
He's regretted it ever since.
so he had to buy a new computer. He was going to buy a new computer anyway, but then we like bought these like graphics cards, these like
video ones,
these really high processing video gaming cards that he was going to render it on, because then that'd save like thousands in rendering fees. Render farm, so he did that, and then he started
rendering fees. I don't even know what that is.
Render farm.
Yeah,
render farm.
Yeah,
you
you
just to, like do all these
the render cows.
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, just imagine if it was just a natural process. You send all these files off, and there's just all these poor cows in a farm that's like some sort of exclusive meat in Argentina, like render meat.
Render meat
with Western data.
Yeah. Irrigated by Western data.
GMO friendly.
Yeah. So he didn't have to do that, and then it took him we missed the deadline. He was super busy, and it was just taking far too long, which was kind of fair enough. The album came out, and then we were like, all right, we'll just put it out as a later video, and I think it was like another year or something. So. It was kind of like it was sort of towards the end of last year it finally came out. But it went down really well. Like, it's so well received, and it's super interesting music video. I'm glad we've done all this stuff. I don't think we probably spend quite as much time and money on videos like in the future. But
You don't think you will?
nah, because it's
Time
like,
consuming.
We'd like to, but it's the amount of money and time.
because we funded the whole album ourselves. It was like a bit like we kind of like, it's all cool now, but I think it's a bit more. It's like strategy, isn't it? Like kind of working out what you should spend.
And just
money
not
on.
spend all your money on a video.
On videos.
It's gonna get a few thousand views.
Well, some of them have got loads of views.
Yeah.
There's that. Is it God Save the Tees?
Yeah.
Bruno,
That got like nearly 1 million hits or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah, but so a lot of that's from the vloggers.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So like
the vloggers.
So I
the
think-
vloggers.
so that tune actually done really well. It was the first single we put out, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, in like middle of 2017. Fuck.
Yeah, it was the second time around. We put out 60s 4.
Oh right, yeah.
Went again.
So yeah, but God Save, and it went really well, and it sort of got a bit of movement, and it was getting shared a lot, and it got in like the Spotify like algorithm, so like it was getting shared in people's Discover Weeklies and stuff like that.
Which is good, kids.
Which is good, apparently, yeah. So we were like, oh, this is sick. It's like it's all starting to go well, and then all the next singles came out, and the album came out, and nothing really kind of kicked off that much. It was all just kind of steadily going all right, and then this like American vlogger contacted us, or his editor contacted us. And he was like, oh, this guy, we want to use your music in some vlogs. Like, we really love it. Like, I think, like, Flux Pavilion had, like, retweeted it or something. So that's where they'd heard it. And we were like,
Because
yeah.
he produced the album, yeah?
Yeah.
Co-produced.
He co-produced it, yeah. So these guys seen there. And then we checked his videos out. And it's like, what? He's got, like, 12 million subscribers or something. Like, this is mental. And this is the first time we'd ever seen YouTubers. I never even knew what it
Yeah.
was. So this is like a year and a half ago. Like, you know,
Where have you been?
yeah,
Making videos and just putting them
yeah,
on YouTube.
making
and
it, yeah, exactly. This
not
is a
realising
strategy
what-
thing. Yeah. We just make stuff.
wow.
We don't like know the
Because
strategy.
you were basically doing vlogs anyway about 5 years ago.
Mate, when
Yeah.
we first started the band 7 years ago, we were doing our own vlog in here in the tea room. We called it, and we should have carried on doing them. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was,
I thought you were doing that because that's what everyone was doing at the
no,
time.
no. We were doing it because we thought it'd be cool. Like, yeah, and then I didn't realize. I knew that loads of kids were watching YouTube, but I didn't realize the extent of what was happening. So we started
yeah.
watching this guy, and I was just like, wow, this guy's like, you know, he's got like a lot of positivity and stuff, but he's a bit of a douchebag. You know what I mean? But you know, like, obviously he can use our music because he's not doing any harm. He's like, it's quite funny. Kids like it. They're gonna hear our music. We're gonna get more plays, obviously. So that happened. They put us on a couple of the vlogs, and then we got like loads more plays. It kind of doubled, like in like at least maybe tripled.
Yeah.
And like how many views and hits we were getting.
It's
on
amazing how much influence some of these people
Yeah.
have,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it was that
It's
video
crazy.
particularly because all those guys were on YouTube, and then the click through was to the YouTube video, that God Save the Tees video that Bruno made, banging video.
It's a sick video, yeah.
It's a sick video, yeah,
He
it's
smashed
wicked.
it.
It's
UV
such,
stuff.
yeah, it's like one of my favorite songs that we've made, and wicked video, and yeah, and then it just sort of popped off a bit, and we were like, oh, this is cool, but then underneath all the video, it was just like, I'm here because of Logan, low gang, and then yeah, of course, like what happened was in over New Year's, this whole thing with Logan Paul happened where he filmed someone that had committed suicide in a forest in Japan. And then all of a sudden, when we'd not like followed him or anything, you know, we just knew he was using our tunes and getting us loads more plays, and we were like sick. And then after that, it was like, oh no, all our videos just say Logan Paul all over them. and like, is that a bad look? It's like, well, I mean, he just used our tunes, didn't he? So it's not bad. But then like, but you know, we have had some people say, well, that Logan, you're in with that Logan Paul guy. It's like, no, he likes our songs apparently, like. And it's helped our plays, but it's a little bit like that. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just one of those things, isn't it, that happens.
Yeah.
You've got no control over it.
Yeah.
But getting double views and plays is no doubt
Yeah,
a good
man.
thing.
It was amazing because like a lot of his fan base is like younger kids, teenagers in America, and just seeing that our music connected with that audience was like super positive, you know.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get to America at some point.
Yeah.
So just seeing that it connected with that crowd was like
Yeah.
a bit
And-
reassuring.
And we did sort of start like checking the vlogs out because it used our tunes on a couple more, so we had to just like see if they were being used and tell the editor and stuff what the links were. And I remember, and then once I got watching a bit of it, I was like, oh, like he is actually like really kind of positive guy, and like it's not that harmful. He just does some stupid stuff, you know what I mean? And like he's like
he's
kinda,
well gregarious and loud.
yeah, he's kind
So I
of
think
it's kind of
makes
it's
him
kind of
make
it's kind of
those
messed up a
decisions.
bit, but actually I think he's all right, and he's sort of like he made like millions of pounds for like charities to try and make up for that thing that he did. And
Oh, really?
yeah, so like it's sort of like
He's managed it well, I think.
yeah, and then he went and had a big boxing match with another YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, did you not see that?
I didn't see one with him. I've seen that there's
Like
a
the
few
biggest-
YouTubers that do it like every few
Yeah.
years. It's just a good way to make a bit of money, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like the biggest grossing YouTube video ever or something.
Yeah, is it the
Yeah,
biggest?
people paying
Biggest
to-
grossing like amateur fight of all time. It was like made like hundreds of millions.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
two
like
YouTubers.
from like
The
pay per
world is
view.
mental.
The world's
What is
mental,
going
yeah.
on?
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, man, like yeah, so that happened, man, and yeah, I mean, big ups to him for supporting us really, because it's got us lots more plays and stuff.
So how does it work with like Spotify and stuff now? Because I keep hearing that like Spotify influences and is like the engine that can like make or break an artist now almost.
Yeah.
Like if you get into it, if you
Massively,
get
yeah.
into a big playlist on Spotify,
It's
and obviously
crazy.
if
Yeah.
you've got good music, like that must be like the best thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there are playlists that just everybody gets and loads of people listen to, and you get into one of those playlists, you're kind of sorted. But
Yeah.
to get into those, like, our music doesn't really fit into, or hasn't yet, fitted into any of those playlists for some
That's a
reason.
good thing, though, isn't it? Well, not that it hasn't got in, but that it's like, that it's a bit different.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's positive.
It's got positives
Yeah.
and negatives definitely to it. Like, because if you're like in a sort of like a movement, then it's quite easy. It's a lot easier to get caught in that movement. You know what I mean? But
I feel like a lot of people at the top in Spotify are part of that movement. You know, the music that they like is a lot of the music that is doing well. So I think it's the influence of it just seems a little bit
Biased.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of like song rap and a lot of trap and like a lot of grime, obviously in England. But what we noticed when we were putting our album out was we were like pitching for playlists and our distributor was pitching and stuff, and it was like we looked at the hip hop playlists. And
Is that what you do? You have to pitch for a playlist?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So your distributor will pitch for you, and then now they've switched it so the artist actually or their manager pitches through like an online form to Spotify, or Apple, and yeah. So like we were like looking at the playlist and like all the hip hop ones, it was all just trap, like from America, and then grime ones like a sort of shut down playlist and stuff, and then all these different playlists. About 8 of them in the hip hop one made by Spotify, and it was all the same music, all 7, apart from one which is alternative hip hop, and in alternative hip hop was just hip hop, like, and then within that there was still like the top songs from the trap and the grime were in this one as well, like, which is super weird, and it was just like hip hop that really. You know, it like we'd fit in an alternative hip hop playlist because that's kind of what it is. It's a bit like slightly different
Hip hop.
than hip hop, yeah. And but it just like there's just no chance of getting in one of those playlists like, at all. So
That's mental.
yeah,
Just feels stupid. Like feels like our government.
but like it seems a bit. But there is lots of more like smaller playlists that I think we could fit in. But yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, we never had any support or anything with Spotify.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
It's crazy how big Spotify's got. I remember when someone first told me about it, they're like, "You still got an MP3 player?" I was like, "Yeah, I've only just got it. I had a mini disc player."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I got this Swedish thing called Spotify. It's got like 200,000 songs on it or something." I was like, "Nah, it's not gonna work."
It's not
It'll never work.
Yeah, we've got an internet connection.
Yeah,
What?
Internet, like dial up. How's this gonna work? They're smashing it.
Yeah, they're smashing
they've
it.
taken
Yeah.
over, haven't they? It's amazing.
Yeah.
In 10 years, they're like just taken over the music industry pretty much.
Yeah. So it's crazy like how actually Rye that lives here, his band that he's in have been playlisted by Spotify on a couple of playlists, and they've got like a couple of million hits on some of their songs, and they've all just started. So like a lot of their socials, they've not got much of a following, but then their tunes on Spotify have gone crazy. And they do like sold out Amira, and then they're playing like Scala in November, like, which is crazy. Like headline shows for like a brand new upstart band. So like, you know, like
Because of the power of Spotify.
yeah, because so many people are listening to it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But there's all the editorial playlists, but then there's like Discover Weekly and like these playlists that are like algorithmic ones. So because loads of people actually listen to our tunes, it shows them to other people that are like them. So like so they have got plays, and we do get like new people every week listening to stuff. So it has kind of worked for us as well, getting stuff. But if we'd have gotten a playlist, it'd have been like.
So now you kind of like learn all this stuff with your debut album. When you put out another album, I guess that would be like a huge part of the strategy is working out like how to place it, how the algorithms can pick it up, because it's all just algorithms now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this podcast, there's a new and noteworthy thing that you can get in iTunes. Like if you get like a certain amount of hits in the first 8 weeks, which I had about 5 hits, so definitely didn't get in there. But then they put it like on the front page of iTunes for like a week or however long, and it's like I've seen some podcasts like literally blow up from that.
Blow up overnight.
Is there a new album, a new project coming out?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's from the tour. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is there any snakes about? Oh yeah. Loads of them.
Loads of them. It's the first thing we said when we landed to the taxi driver. So it says, "What's the most dangerous spider?" Redback. It's this big. No way. Is there any snakes about?
Oh yeah. Loads of them. full of it.
Heaps.
Heaps of it.
Yeah, heaps.
But no, we give ourselves a bit of time on the tour to like do some writing because we've not done a lot for a while.
Yeah.
So we've come back with like a big sack load of tunes to start recording, and we've got like 2 projects coming out, 2 albums in the next 12 months, hopefully.
2 albums.
Yeah.
Anderson .Paak style.
Yeah, Anderson .Paak style, yeah. Yeah, so the first one's like coming out with our French label, Banzai Lab. And it's like a collaborative album with like loads of French artists that we've like sort of just got to know or been hooked up with over the last year from playing in France a lot. So that's the first one, which is hopefully this year. And then we're working on our second like album that we've made ourselves fully.
Sick.
So that'll be next year.
With the drum.
With the drums.
Yeah.
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 Now we got the drum and
Expect some heavy percussion on this next album.
You take it on stage with you as well.
yeah, man. Yeah, just put it around the neck.
Mate, you're pretty good at that.
It's a scratch.
Are you sticking around in London for a while then? Because last time I saw you bought a place in Portugal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like been on hold for a while. So there was like, yeah, me and 6 other people bought this wreck of a place for next to nothing in the middle of nowhere in Portugal.
Next to nothing in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, which is just completely mental that we actually did it. It was all like from like a late night party. We're like, whoa, have you seen how cheap stuff is in this thing? And we're, like,
Did you buy it at the party?
It was like, it wasn't long after, like, but yeah, no, we went like looking at loads of places. eBay. Bought some land.
eBay.
Oh god, yeah. So yeah, man. So we all like chipped in, and we're making this kind of it's going to be a business eventually, like an artist retreat. That's the plan. People can go like from busy cities to this place, which is just kind of cut off with like like-minded people just working on whatever the artistic project is. That's the premise behind it. But yeah, so we were renovating it. We kind of went over there. I went over there for a few weeks. We like took all the floors out, put new floors in, like new rooms, like painted, decorated, or did all landscaping and stuff. And then working on 2 of the other houses. And then there was a massive forest fire that like went through the whole. So you hear about the Portuguese forest fires last year.
I don't know if I
Was it
remember
the
it.
back end of 2017?
No, I think it was the year before.
It was the back end of 2017, yeah. So like the whole valley that where our like land is and the buildings, it's like just all burnt down.
Whoa.
yeah. And like
Was the house was alright.
the main house that we'd renovated was the only thing that was like untouched. Like there was kind of right in the middle. And then the other houses all burnt down.
It's crazy that it got missed though, because there was a house behind that burnt down, the house, and the tree in front that had burnt. So I don't know how it missed the house.
We'd built this big like
Maybe it's just got
platform.
loads of damp in it and it just kept playing.
yeah.
It's solid.
God for the damp.
The walls are like a meter thick. It's all made out of stone. It's a crazy building.
Wow.
But yeah, there was some like scorch marks on like the wooden platform that we made at the back of it, like a sort of terrace. And there was like something had stopped and like started burning it, and luckily like we drenched it all in this like anti-flammable paint.
Were you out there when it was happening?
No, we were on tour actually.
Yeah.
It was when, can you remember when the sky went orange in London?
Yeah.
That was it. It was from that. That was all the smoke from Portugal, from our place burning down. that like, all the smoke and dust and everything was generated from that fire, because it was like fucking millions of acres. Like a huge part of it got burnt down.
Yeah.
And
that sucks.
Yeah. So now I've not been out there for a while. So it all got put on hold, and then it's starting back up now, and like all the trees are kind of mulching down, so they just kind of we've just got these like rolling hills instead of like trees all around it now. I don't know what it looks like right now, so I've not been for about 6 months. But yeah, it's sort of just started back up, and we're finishing the build this year now, so it'll be up, and I think we're going to do a big party in September.
Just in time for Brexit.
Just in time for Brexit, yeah. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of time towards the end of this year there before we do a tour, and like get it like up and running, do some like retreats there and stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's got such potential. That place.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The area is beautiful.
Yeah,
if it does what you like, imagine.
Yeah, we've got some like cool people involved, like the guy that owns THTC, like the t-shirt company. So I think we're on about like growing some loads of weed there, like some to like make hemp products and CBD oil and stuff like that. So we've got loads of land.
Would you live out there full time in the long term?
Maybe later, like in a few years. I always I always had it with that in mind, like
Start
it's
a
like
data farm.
because we all invested it. We all took out like loans and stuff, and like it's a proper like long term plan.
Investment.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like an investment thing. Yeah. So I think it'll be wicked once it gets up and running. And so there's Gav from THTC and like Beans on Toast is involved as well.
Josh, such a good name.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Tim Whitehouse, who I started it with, and his brother Josh Whitehouse, who's like absolutely smashing it. So he's like shooting a Netflix thing at the moment with Vanessa Hudgens. So all of a sudden he's just like got some like popularity and stuff. So that's pretty cool for the project. Just having some people that are doing well involved in it, especially with it being like an artist retreat. So yeah, man, like I'm pretty. I think it could be good.
It sounds sick. It sounds like pretty much the conversation I have with everyone who's lived in a city for too long. They're like, oh, just get all your mates, buy a bit of land in a cheap country, build a retreat. But you've actually done it.
Yeah. But then when you're doing it, you're like, oh god, this is so stressful. Like this is.
I know. In my mind, I think of like having the retreat, not spending 2 or 3 years making it.
Yeah. All the little like jobs and things and like. Oh god, costs and taxes and like we got there and we were like, so where's the water connection? And then they were like, oh, there is no water. What? And we were like,
well, after you bought it.
So we were like, hey, so we've got to dig a borehole. So we had to dig 100 meters
hole?
A borehole.
A borehole.
So we get a massive drill, dig 100 meters into the water table. So there's like a reservoir of water underneath the crust of the earth. And you pump it, and then you pump it out. You know, that's like how like people in remote places get water. That's what a well is. You know what I mean? It's like a well.
Remote places or the middle of Portugal.
Yeah. Or the middle of Portugal. Yeah. So we were like quoted. It was like so much per 10 meters. It was like €1,000 per 10 meters to go down. We were like, can't be that far. It was like 100 meters or something.
Oh my god!
Like, oh mate, we got. Oh god! Like the whole thing has been. They're riddled with like some pretty bad luck because we did it all on like a shoestring anyway, and then there was that, and then there was the exchange rate after Brexit just crashed.
Oh
so
that was so just after, wasn't it?
But also we'd agreed on buying the place before the Brexit vote, and then it actually went through after the vote, so we lost about 10 grand just in the exchange rate dropping. Like,
what?
yeah, man. So there's been a bit of bad luck, but it looks wicked. And it's got a sick vibe, so it's gonna be good.
I want to come see it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, mate.
100%.
When it's rebuilt.
Wait till the trees grow back and it's rebuilt.
It's good you're planting trees. That will help with the carbon.
Yeah. I wanted to get into some like tree planting schemes.
I want to plant some trees
in the area. Yeah. Oh mate, well you can come out.
Come down, plant some trees.
Yeah, come and plant some trees.
Set up a little NGO tree planting charity.
Yeah.
Get artists down there.
Called
like, Too Many Trees.
That was great watching you work that out.
God, that's the first time I've seen like proper pathological
telekinesis.
Cogs just turning. In fact, actually, I read in an interview that I think it was you, Leon, that said that you were trying to get involved with more humanitarian stuff with your raps.
Yeah. Well, we did the bee project last year. Raised
too many
bees, too many teas, not enough bees. Actually, we've got a few t-shirts over here. Had some printed. Yeah, just raising money for bees, for beehives. That all came from like a conversation. I think you had with someone, didn't you, at a party, just about the importance of bees. Well, the more and more we researched it, we were like, whoa, these go, we're screwed. Let's raise some awareness. and it's something we want to do more and more of. Again, on the list.
Yeah,
Finding the time
it's
to
a
do
big-
it all.
Big list.
I feel like I like a few years ago I saw loads of like posters from like Friends of the Earth and stuff in the tube, and then obviously like the video you guys made and like all this like bee stuff. And now it just like that trend has like dipped, and
Yeah.
people are like doing plastic straws now or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
like
it's so
the bees
true.
are still like
Yeah, it's
in
still an
like
issue.
mad decline. We need more bees.
Yeah. I think they banned some like really bad pesticides across Europe. So I think that was like a lot of the
Neonicotinoids.
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 Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Such a good one. Because we wrote the rap about it.
Oh, yeah.
If the words are in raps, I can remember that.
Specifically neonicotinoids. They do more than just get insectinoid.
That was mad. We did that project. We got Lush, you know, like the
The soap brand.
soap brand got in touch with like, oh, we've seen your bee project. We're doing a Lush event, and we're doing there's a discussion panel on pollination. Would you come and be interviewed and perform your bee song at the Lush? We went up to Lush, and then
No
like
way.
we were sat down with like
Goodie
their
bag.
got a Lush goodie bag. You still got it.
It was just
Handmade
here, mate.
cosmetics.
It was literally just, I found it under my bed. I was like, oh, I could use some of that.
We were there with like
Soap.
the head of insect research or something from the Natural History Museum. Do you remember that woman?
She was
She was
She was nuts about bugs.
she was mad about bugs. Yeah,
She was bugging. She was
there's
awesome.
no flies on her. They're all in the museum.
Yeah, it was so weird. So we just had to like in front of just these people that were at this Lush event just do the song. And it was good there. It was a good little day out, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Put us in a really nice hotel as well, like in, where was it? Manchester.
yeah.
Felt like like where you have a bit of like a Home Alone moment in a hotel. You know, like, is it Home Alone 2, where he's in like a right fancy hotel in New York?
Oh yeah, getting room
Just like-
service.
Yeah, you get the room service, put the robe on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slippers.
Yeah.
Do you think music's a good way to promote these causes? Do you think it resonates with people?
I think you can reach maybe your audience with it, which I guess sometimes wouldn't care about some of these issues or wouldn't be aware of it.
Yeah. I think it'd be weird if we just sort of started talking about it as musicians rather than just making music about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, you know what I mean? It was like, let's see if we can do like an educational rap about. It was a bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah,
Like, so it was like,
it happened though, didn't it? Like for the vote a couple of years ago, like with Stormzy, loads of like rappers got involved with it and really engaged a younger population. So I think it works. I think we're not as big as Stormzy, obviously. So we're not
He's like
reaching that many
6'5".
people. Yeah, I'm definitely not. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely helped.
Have you got any other stuff coming up other than the bee campaigns?
so we've got a lot of bees t-shirts left if anyone wants to.
I'll put
buy
a link to
teas,
your
not enough
website.
bees.
Yeah, mate, Kai Mossman, a friend of ours, he drew it on paint. So you know,
MS Paint.
MS Paint. He's like, it's incredible. This picture of this bumblebee.
That was
He's
drawn
me.
on paint.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's check out some of his stuff actually.
Who's
Yeah.
still got
Mossman.
paint on their computer?
I think you've got to download it.
This guy.
Is that done on paint as well?
That's Jim will paint it. Yeah, that's done on paint. Yeah.
That's mental. Sick. Well, where should people stay up to date with your stuff? You're pretty active on Instagram, aren't you? Even though you said you're not that on it with the social media stuff. You got more Instagram stories than anyone else I follow. But
Really?
yeah, mate, they're hilarious though because you're always on tour doing stupid shit. So it's just too many T's on Instagram. I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah, it's all just
TOO.
too many T's.
Mini TS. That's how I spell it now. People get it wrong all the time. How do you get like 2 TWO, T's TEE? It's just TOO. Many TS.
Is it too many like cups of tea or too many t-shirts, or is it something else?
Bit of both.
Well, you sat down together with all your t-shirts, drinking a cup of tea, and you're like, I can't think of a band name.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we thought of others, but they just weren't very good.
We need to get that. We need to get that picture. Can we do that picture, Emil? Can we just get loads of t-shirts all around us, and then like loads of empty cups of tea with a cup of tea, just like us when we were thinking of a
Let's
band
do
name.
it.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's do it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I entered like this video to make like a snowboard. It's like it was called Shoot Your Friends, and you get like a new challenge every week, and you've got to film it and make like a 5-minute edit at the end of it. And we couldn't think of a name, and we were eating spaghetti hoops, and I had to go. I was like meeting someone or something. And I was like, just you guys work out the name, whatever you do, just don't call it spaghetti hoop toasties. And they're like,
that was it.
that's the name.
That's the name.
And we ended up winning the competition by proxy because everyone else dropped out.
We can't compete with these spaghetti hoop toasty guys.
Well, there was actually like, because loads of teams entered, and then just people couldn't be bothered to do it, and we just like kept at it.
Yeah.
Like none of us had it. We were borrowing cameras off people. And then this guy called Carl like learned how to edit off YouTube, put together this video, and it was just so stupid. It was like barely any like creative, like amazing editing or like filming or anything. It was so stupid, and like they played it on this big screen in this bar, and everyone was just pissing themselves. And there was 2 other teams, and they kind of just like whipped something together at the last minute. And I think because ours was so stupid, they were like, "Yeah, you guys win." We won like loads of new snowboards and like
Snowboards?
Yeah, like loads of stuff. They got loads of brands involved. And we got like snowboard, like whatever
Spaghetti
snowboard
hoop
boots we wanted off this
toasties.
website. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
You've got to be in it to win it, though, eh?
In it to win it. Yeah.
You won it, and you were in it. There you go. The proof's in the toasties.
I'll send you the video. It's just like you'll
Yeah.
laugh at how ridiculously stupid it is.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, thanks for getting on the podcast. It's been fun to see you guys again. Go and get the gong out.
Podcast. Oh no. What is it? It's Camel's podcast with too many T's
It's the best podcast that you've ever seen.
and heard.
Mainly heard.
Have you got any shows coming up?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
7th of June.
June.
7th of June in London.
Is it June or July?
Yeah.
we'll
7th
figure
of
it
June, Bamalam in Dalston?
In London, yeah.
7th. London, yeah. Greater London.
Don't ask us.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're playing on the 7th of June or July, somewhere in London.
out. Perfect. That's really helpful.
It's definitely June.
All right. Well, yeah. Hopefully, catch you soon. Nice
Yeah.
one.
Bad man. Yes,
Catch you,
mate.
June. Thanks, man.
Good to chat,
Sick.
Jake.
Nice one, guys. Yes, that was a seriously fun podcast. Good to catch up with Ross and Leon and chat about all the ridiculous stuff they've got going on. Unfortunately, this podcast was actually recorded a little while ago, and the London gig has already happened. So even with the confusion of the dates, it doesn't even matter. But you can check out their website. They have listings for all of their current and upcoming gigs if you want to go check out a show. I'll also link all of their social medias and other bits of work so you can follow along, shoot them a message, tell them what is up. If you enjoyed this episode, it would be wicked if you could subscribe to the podcast in Apple Podcasts or iTunes. I feel like they've kind of changed their name a little bit. Either iTunes or Apple Podcasts. There is also a website for the podcast, which is insidetheridepodcast.com. So you could sign up to our newsletter there if you want to be informed about new episodes. We'll be back soon with another podcast, probably next week. So stay tuned and see you then.